The first steps in my revision process were to review your comments, see what you wanted me to correct on my paper, and to read aloud myself to find mistakes. I wanted to make sure my sentences made sense and that my order was logical and that it wasn't just me jumping around from point to point and it was actually easy to read for you or any reader. Three improvements I would make specifically for this paper are better criticism of the speaker, because I only identified one real flaw in his speech, even though I ended up finding another pretty major flaw that I talked about in my correction of that, and to elaborate more on details and quotes that the speaker talked about, specifically some of the points that I quoted from him. I didn't elaborate much on those, and I thought I did a better job of that in my revision. And lastly, my grammar and word choice. Grammar, there was comma errors and also times in the APA that I didn't format correctly. And my three goals for my informative essay, based off of my errors here, are to have more efficient sentences, words that need to be there, and taking out words that don't have to be there. Second, to go more in depth and into detail on my quotes or any other talking points that the speaker had, and for the informative essay, just going more in depth in any detail. And lastly, grammar and word choice, kind of like building off of the efficient sentences, making sure the words that are in my sentences need to be there. How I'm going to achieve these goals are to let other people read my informative essay out loud, because if it doesn't make sense to them, then I probably need to go back and fix some things because it wouldn't make sense to you grading it. And I'll also read aloud myself for any errors grammatically that maybe don't make great sense and that need to be fixed. And lastly, looking for words that are maybe not needed, that make my writing not as good as it should be, or maybe finding better words in place for words that I chose originally.